Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
This is Herflow from Hot 702.5 FM. Las Vegas, looking for a winner-takes-all way to burn off that extra energy? Welcome to Bouncy World, the ultimate climate-controlled indoor playground. We're stacking the deck with specials all week long. Cool off with Frosty Tuesdays featuring ice-cold treats for the kids. Then join us for free popcorn Thursdays because nothing beats a salty snack after a giant bounce. And at Bouncy World, we believe every child deserves their moment to soar. Join us every Sunday from 9 to 11 a.m. for Sensory Sundays. We dim the lights and turn off the music to create a calm, inclusive space designed specifically for our newer, diverse community. At Bouncy World, we fly high. From high-flying fun to inclusive play, we've got it all. Visit us at bouncyworldlv.com to book your party or check our open play hours. Bouncy World, jump into the fun today.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Yeah. Jones. Hey. Greg Deville was at it, man. Hey. If you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help. You wanna be a broker, you wanna be broke. You wanna be the joker, you wanna be the joker. You gotta bring more to the table than your hope, dreams, and wishing. I can feed you fish or I can take you out fishing. I can show you the vision, addition and division, mathematic equation. Make the money flip like an acrobatic, amazing. Greg Deville help you build the foundation. I'm saying, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help.
All right. Good afternoon, Las Vegas. Greg Deville live in the studio. Listen, every Wednesday, high noon, we're talking real estate, wealth, and wealth building strategies right here at Hot 702.5fm.com. We are excited about information. Every week, we want to talk to you about opportunities on how to create generational wealth. If you haven't heard, I want to let you know this morning that interest rates are looking pretty good. Actually, it's better than it's been. So if you haven't gotten into home ownership, this is a great time to consider it, great time to think about it, great time to do it. Here's one of the great advantages we're finding right now with home ownership. If you're a first-time buyer, again, that's someone who hasn't owned in the last 3 years. But one of the great advantages that we're seeing right now is people are getting their closing costs covered. Sellers are hungry. Sellers are hungry for buyers. I mean, when they put it on the market, there's so much inventory that it's a buyer's market. So what is that looking like? What is that setting up for? It's setting up for a buyer for a great opportunity. Rates are down a little bit, which is pretty good. 6 and 6.25%, for better credit. Some high fives. It's just a great time to stop paying some landlord's mortgage. I like to use the term fire your landlord. Fire your landlord. Only because, listen, they're creating wealth on your back, right? And the wealth is because you're paying down the principal, which gaining wealth in equity, right? So now I want to put you in the driver's seat, as I've always mentioned. giving you the opportunity to own your own piece of the American dream, which is home ownership. Now, as you many of you do know, that my job is to help you if you got to sell that home and save that equity. We just recently helped 3 families since the beginning of the year sell their home and save their equity. They'd gotten behind. Life happens. Listen, loss of jobs, loss of income, loss of family members, just could be a several different things can happen over the course of time. We've helped a family who had a reverse mortgage. Mom passed away, went into the hospital, unfortunately never made it out, had a reverse mortgage on the property. We were able to, through a probate sale, sell that property. Now, many of you understand that if you do not have living trust, and that's why we push for the living trust. The living trust is very important because it gives your direct direction from what you want things to look like after your demise. You pass away, you understand this is how it's going to be, this is how it's going to go. And the attorney will read the living trust, right? Now, those of you that do a will, you're still creating costs to your family when you do a will. What does that cost, Deville? The end of the day, it's attorney fees, realtor fees. You have to do court costs as well as hiring an appraiser, right? These are costs that happen because you were close, but you did a will, but had you done a living trust, you would avoid court costs, attorney costs, and that appraisal cost, right? Those are costs you would be able to afford because you could put it on the market and the buyer would pay for the appraisal. So there are some fees that you would avoid if you do what we like to term a living will. Now, it can be revocable or irrevocable. Now, if you need an attorney to draw that up, I know several attorneys that we work with that can do that. However, there is a high cost associated with doing that. But again, somebody says, I don't want to do it. Or you can do like myself, gone down to Charleston, Valley View, got into the legal forms, got that package to do a living irrevocable trust. Now, fill it out, have it notarized, have a witness, and file that form with the county recorder's office. Now, very simple, right? Yes, it is. And your wishes will be handed out just as you have written them before you pass. Everything's handed out. However, I know people, and many of, our seniors, they're big on a will, and that's because we don't really know the difference when it comes to having the living trust. And that's probably because we haven't been exposed to information on the living trust. But more information about it, I'd be glad to speak with you for it. Let's talk about what that looks like in getting that living trust. Now, if you've lost a loved one, and we're sorry for your loss. However, life goes on with what we have to do in taking care of their responsibilities that they've left to us, to our charge, if you will. Now, one of the things we have to keep in mind is when you're doing something for the family member, unless you have a living trust, there is a court judge who will make a final decision on that will, how things are going to go. Now, let's understand that when you do a will and you're working, let's say you help your mom get things settled after her passing, or your dad, or a family member, some of the things you need to understand is we need to first get with an attorney, and you need to get a realtor, right? Now, these two together are going to work hand in hand. Now, I've worked for the past 5, 6, 7 years with the attorneys, different attorneys, who can get the ball rolling. Now, there are a couple who have, a retainer fee. There are some who take and retain you without a fee, and there's no upfront cost. However, there are some attorneys that do require a retainer fee in order to get that ball rolling with court costs and associated fees for filings. Okay, many will make you have you pay that up front. Now, so we got that out of the way. Now, let's talk about many of you that are seniors who have need of a reverse mortgage. There's a benefit of living off of your equity. So that's another benefit that we can assist you with. Let's talk to some of our younger crowds who you've been on your job at least 2 years. You make at least $35,000 to $40,000 or better per year. You can get your first condo. You can get your first townhouse, right? It may not be your dream home. And of course, your first home oftentimes isn't your dream home unless you hit the mega lotto, right? Most time we have to work our way to that dream home. Now, you could start out with a nice home because you rent that apartment. You could start off in a house, or you may get that condo. It's yours, right? So every month you make a payment, you're buying down the principal. And if you make an additional payment on top of that monthly payment and contact your mortgage provider that you want that payment to be considered towards your principal, meaning you could pay that 30-year mortgage off in 15 years. Now, let's say 5 years in, you've paid more than you owe every month. You're buying down the principal. You have more equity. Now you could do what we like to term a home equity line of credit. What does that mean? Well, that means you could take some of the equity that you have now accrued in the property. The benefit for you is now you can buy a property with a little more space. Shout out to Miss Laura. Recently, we sold her house. And we sold her a larger house. So she had outgrown the space in her townhome. So we got her one that was larger with more space. And I went by yesterday and wow, you talk about where the space lies. Same furnishings, but you can see it better because she has more space. So maybe you've outgrown the space that you're currently in as far as owning, and you want more space. So what we can do, much like we did for Miss Laura, is sell that home, right? The profit or the equity from the sale, put it on the next house. So she put nearly $200,000 on the next house, which means her principal now is very low of what she owes, meaning now her payment is low. In her case, she did a reverse mortgage because she was a senior. So there's a benefit to many who are seniors being able to do the reverse mortgage with the sale of your current property. So for more information, I'd be glad to speak with you on it. How do we make that happen? So if you're listening to me and you want to contact for more information, again, 702-349-0162, Greg Deville, Deville Realty Group, the name you need to know, right here in the Valley. This is what we do. We educate and empower the community on knowledge of real estate and wealth. This coming Saturday, I'm going to be doing a brunch and a book. So we're going to be having our book signing of my book signing. We've had it launched before. Many didn't get to attend. We're doing a second book launch, which is going to be our brunch and a book, right? So we want to promote a Black-owned business, Pretty Soul Kitchen, which is right there off of Sahara. For more information, you can inbox me or, again, 702-349-0162. I'd be glad to give you more information, or go to my Facebook at Greg Deville, or go to my LV at Greg Deville, and you get more information on brunch and a book. So if you've been waiting to get that book copy signed, I'll be there signing copies, and we'll have a nice brunch, support a business, encourage them to continue in business, right? Business has been challenging. Our administration has really made things challenging for many, which now some things we have to cut back on, which may be going out. So restaurants are seeing the effect of budget cuts, right? People are having to cook more. We got children, things we can't do as we were, or not as often as, at least, as we were doing. But this coming Saturday, April 11th, 11 to 3 p.m., we'll be doing a brunch and a book, which again, the brunch is going to support the restaurant, a woman-owned restaurant, self-employed. We want to promote her business. She does meals that I've had there has been wonderful. I mean, she's personal chef, Chef B. Brandy, and I'll tell you, she's doing a great job there. We just want to promote her business, right? And give you a chance to get the book that I've written, The Journey into Entrepreneurship and Success. So if you've been waiting to get a copy, I have copies on hand. You can go to gregdeville.store to purchase your copy. But if you want to get your copy signed, now if you go to gregdeville.store and you reach out to me, I will get you a signed copy direct to you as well. We are direct distributing at gregdeville.store. So that's something I want to make sure that everyone knows about. Again, it's on Facebook, it's on IG, Greg Deville, both platforms, Greg Deville at YouTube. We're talking about the same information about helping build business in our communities. That's how we maintain and we survive, by the support of the community. And so this week, again, Saturday, April 11th, 11 to 3 p.m., Pretty Soul Kitchen, we'll be having a book signing brunch. I'm excited about that. It's my first one, so I'd really love to have great community support for those of you that are available. You can show up at any time between 11 and 3. It's just a brunch and a book, right? So you have the opportunity to get the book, order brunch, have good communication and partnership with other business owners, asking those of you that are in business, bring your business cards, do a little networking there, right? Get a chance to meet some of my local friends. I'll meet some of your friends. Tell a friend. Let's make it a network. Can we do that? Again, Greg Deville on all platforms, Greg Deville LV on IG. We want to hear from you. Now, I want to talk a little bit about my veterans. Those of you who have, you're renting right now, and you owned a home in the past, but for whatever reason, you either, foreclosed, deed in lieu, short sold it. It's been longer than a year for a veteran. You can use your DD 214 and get it reinstated and purchase another home. Now, that's the difference between the FHA and the VA. So you could be 1 year out, owning a home, and purchase another VA home. So I know somebody saying, wow, I didn't know I could use my VA again because I've used it already. Well, this is kind of stuff Greg Deville Show talks about, is giving you information that maybe you weren't aware of, but I want to make sure that I'm getting you that information. First-time buyers, someone that hasn't owned in 3 years, veterans you haven't owned in the last year, you can get into another home. Let's say you want to purchase another home, but you want to do it under your VA. So there's a way for that. We can refinance the property into a conventional, freeing up that VA. So for more information about that, that's available as well. So now your next home, you can use it with your benefit because you currently have a home under the VA, but there's a way we can get that VA released so that you can get your next new home. Somebody say it might be your final home, but you want a new home, but you want to do it under your VA. We have avenues on how, and that information is available. Again, Greg Deville, IG, Google, all platforms, YouTube, at Greg Deville, Facebook. My contact direct, 702-349-0162. You can reach me direct by phone. I'd love to speak with you, share information. Now, there's another part that I want to make sure that we get out today. It's talking about your 401k. Now, with your 401k, the benefit to the 401k is you can use it without penalty. Now, this is the only time 401k has no penalty when using that program is when purchasing a home. Now, as many of you are aware, if you borrow from that 401, there may be up to a 10% penalty. However, not when it comes to purchasing a home. So find out how much you need. Well, somebody may ask, well, how much do I need in it? Well, 3.5% of 300,000 is 10,000. So, you go to 400,000, it's 12,000 or 14,000. So it goes up at 3.5%. So you want to have a minimal of 10,500 in your 401. That's the minimal house, right? That's 300. Townhome 250. So, but you want to at least have that because you want to be able to get, if you can't get all the closing costs paid, you want to at least have half of the closing costs, right? So I have a beautiful home that's up for sale in Sky Canyon right now. Beautiful home. Some of the furniture are going to convey with the property. Beautiful spa, turf backyard, covered patio, television on the patio furniture, furnishings in the property. It has a 2-bedroom with a guest spacious office, or it can be used as a temporary guest room or a TV room, right? Office space. But it's beautiful. Sky Canyon, built in 2024. Great opportunity. More information, you can look me up at Greg Deville. So 401, VA buyers, first-time buyers. If you're thinking about selling your home, listen, we have buyers available. Can't tell you I have them right now, but we certainly can list it fair price, and we can gain those buyers. So when people say, oh, I've got buyers. Yeah, we got buyers. We just got to find out if they want what you're offering in your location. So I'm not going to make that promise that I have buyers in my pocket. That's a sales strategy that many do to get you to contact them. But I'm telling you, and what they do is go on the MLS, and look around and shop around and, look up properties when we get a buyer. So is your home in the area that someone's looking for, right? So again, we can help you sell that home. I'm 45 years in the entrepreneurship. I've been in Vegas for 26 years now, 25 years. I've been a realtor for 20 of those years. but I came here with real estate experience. So I've got over 45 years in the industry. Came here from Southern California, buy and flip property. So if you got an ugly house that you say, I just can't maintain or keep up with it, we do buy ugly homes. I do go in there, go in and flip properties. I've been known to flip over the past 40 plus years. It's what I enjoy doing. So again, we have network partnerships that we can do with when it comes to flip properties. So if that's something you're interested in more information about, certainly Greg Deville on all platforms, or again, 702-349-0162. I think I've covered quite a bit of the bases that we want to make sure we're talking about when it comes to getting everybody into owning your own home. So don't forget, you can, there's another one. This is great information here. Also to include is that if a family member wants to help you with a down payment, they can do it without penalty. They just can't give you the money directly. They have to put it in escrow. So the benefit to that is, let's say Uncle Willie has savings that he just didn't trust the bank with putting it in there. But he has it at home, and he wants to be able to give it to you towards a down payment. Now, it may be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And he can now assist you without having to account for those funds. Now, that's good news because many people don't like putting their monies in the bank. You'd be surprised. People don't trust banks. It's been crazy right now with the way things are going. Our current administration, you just wake up something new every day. So you'd hate to think your $50,000 or $100,000 in the bank is just frozen because the federal government is locked up. So people have been pulling out their funds, at least a great bulk of funds. We still, we're insured up to $250,000. But what if that takes a while to get that too? I don't know. Man, this administration is something else. So wars and rumors of wars. I think I read that in the Bible. So, we're definitely in the end time for sure. From what I've heard and read, we're seeing things like this happening. But again, Uncle Willie, Uncle May, TT May can help you with a down payment without showing where that money's from and without penalty. They just can't give it to you directly or place it into your bank account. So there's a way you have to do it. And then again, working with the seller. Now, keep in mind, and this is what I want to share with many of you. When you're looking to purchase a home, and let's say you don't have all the closing costs, but you have some money saved because you will need some skin in the game, but you have some money saved up. One of the things I want you to keep in mind is if you're asking for closing costs, don't reduce the price of the list. The list prices, let's say I've got a house for $505 right now, but you're going to ask for $12,000. Don't reduce the $505,000 price. Give them the $505, but ask for $10,000 in closing costs. Or ask for $15,000, whatever it is that you need. You need $15,000 at $500. So you can add, let's say you got $5,000 saved, but you need $10,000. So don't reduce the price of the property and ask for. So now you're reducing twice. We want to be careful because in the market right now, it's competitive. It's a buyer's market. However, we want to get the most closing costs paid, especially if you're approved, at the $505,000. Right? Because let's say you take $50,000 off. Well, 6%, it's only like $30 a month difference. So why would I want to reduce? I see the calls are coming in. Text me and I'll give you back as soon as let me push that. So again, let's talk about how to educate a buyer. You want all the closing costs, give them what they need. They want $505,000. You need $15,000. So how about give them what they want, and you can get what you need. I've seen this strategy proven over the years. It don't make any more money. It's not about the realtor making any more money. That's not the case. I'm giving you realistic ways on how to get a home that you really want to get. You said, Mr. Deville, I like this property. Then my suggestion is give them what they want so you can get what you need. Because you're approved up to $500,000. So why not just say, it's okay. You know that loan amount is. Taking off $10,000 only saves you $60. So again, let's talk about some of the benefits of getting into home ownership. And now think about it. You give them the $505,000. They give you $15,000. So you literally get this house with no money out of pocket, right? No money out of pocket. They're paying your closing costs, right? And somebody's granting or gifting you the down payment. Or you can go through the down payment programs that are available. And yes, ma'am, yes, sir, there's still yet funding available. So again, I want to hear from you. Let's talk about how we can help you. And let's not wait till next year. We're early in the year. In fact, this is coming on the season when real estate really gets busy. School's going to be preparing to end on next month. We may have 40 days left of schooling for the children. Many families want to go to a different school zone next year. And so this is the time people are preparing. So if you're thinking about selling that home, Greg Deville can help. Deville Realty Group. If you're thinking about buying that home, Greg Deville can help. Deville Realty Group. So the name you need to know right here in the Valley, this is what I do. This is what I've been doing over the past 40 plus years. And yes, I still enjoy it today. Somebody say, why don't you retire? I'm like, from what? I do what I enjoy, right? I love it. Seeing families get keys, seeing families sell their homes and get equity. I recently helped a family that was in mortgage trouble get $180,000 out of their equity and sold the home, got them out of mortgage debt, sold their home, walked away with nearly $190,000. And that's after preparing to lose your home. Now, if you're like someone I know who, unfortunately didn't contact me and lost the equity. So I say this, if you're walking in pride and you take the P off of pride, it'll take you for a ride. If you take the E off a ride, it'll get rid of you. So pride will take you for a ride and get rid of your equity. So contact Greg Deville. I'd love to help you save that equity and sell that home. Pay those finances off, that mortgage, those liens that are on the property. Take the stress off your shoulders. How are you going to catch up? You probably never will catch up, but there is a way to get some equity out of that home. And then within a year, possibly 2 years minimal, you can purchase another home. So you'll have some money down. Right now, they got nearly 190,000. So now you just got to get your scores back up to about a 600, which will take you rent for 1 year, 190,000 rent for 1 year. Pay off some other debt, pay down the car note or refinance the car or pay it off. Pay those credit cards down. Guess what? Within 1 year, you're owning a home again. So this is not so doom and gloom that you'll never own again. This is just a reset. You like that? This is a reset. Take that equity. Let this become a reset. 1 year, you're back in the game. Now, guess what you've learned? What not to do, right? Absolutely. You've learned don't get too far in debt. And sometimes we take on more debt. What is the thing? People get a raise on the job, they go buy a new car. So the raise didn't benefit because you bought a new car. Now your raise is going on the new car payment. Oh, it just went up $100. Yeah, but your raise only was $200. So what was the benefit? We've got to allow ourselves to start gaining equity. And then those of you that have equity, there's another benefit to that. You can create what we like to term as residual income. What does that mean? Well, let's talk about taking that equity that you have in the house. Let's go buy a 4-unit building. Now, that house that you own, let's say it's free and clear. Is that free and clear mortgage gaining you any equity at this time? Absolutely not. You just live in rent-free or mortgage-free. But can I show you how to let that equity make money for you? You want more information? Reach out to me. I'll be glad to show you how to create residual income off the equity that's sitting in your home. And although it may not be paid off, but you have a substantial amount of equity in the home, there's a way to do it. Can I show you how? Reach out to me. I'd be glad to speak with you with more information. I work with about 8 or 9 different lenders. You can use your bank, your credit union, whomever. I have some great mortgage brokers who can find better interest rates. When you go to your bank, their rates are their rates. When you work with a broker, they can find better rates, which is always a benefit, okay? So again, I'm Greg Deville, the real estate wealth builder right here in Las Vegas Valley. This is what I do. This is what I've been doing. It's what I love doing, and I'd love to help you. Can I do that? 702-349-0162. Greg Deville, Deville Realty Group, the name you need to know right here in the Valley. Big shouts out to all of you who are preparing for the summer to come and all the great. Listen, it's the time to get your own. Again, if you're losing that home, let me sell it and save your equity. Until I talk to you next week, I'll be back on the air at 12 o'clock right here at hot702.5fm.com. This is what we do. Wealth building strategies. I love it. And I hope you do too. I'll talk to you real soon. And until then, may God's best be yours.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Jones, hey. Greg Deville was at it, man. Hey. If you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help. Now tune in. We here to help. You wanna be a broker, you wanna be broke. You wanna be the joker, you wanna be the joker. You gotta bring more to the table than your hope, dreams and wishing. I can feed you fish or I can take you out fishing. I can show you the vision, addition and division, mathematic equation. Make the money flip like an acrobatic, amazing. Greg Deville help you build the foundation. I'm saying, if you want the real, holla at Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. If you want the real, listen to Greg Deville. He'll tell you how to do it. Now get to it. I'm talking real estate, building wealth, making money for your family and yourself. Now tune in. We here to help.